Dear Aries, this is Vera with your full moon maxi reading. And since it is your full moon, I'm beginning with you with my very first full moon maxi reading on YouTube. And I have some cards already set out because if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I gave you a equinox tiny to begin with, drawing off of the energy of the archetypes at equinox reading that I did yesterday for the collective. So this is obviously specifically now for Aries. I'm going to show you the few cards that I already drew for the sort of equinox supports and available energies you have here, and then I'm going to start drawing some cards for your full moon, which is sort of the culminating moon for you for your year 2018, or at least for the 6 months since your birthday new moon back on April 15th of this year. It's been quite a time since then. A lot going on astrologically and in our world and worlds. So we'll check in with you now. Okay, for your ancestral energies available at this equinox, I had drawn the Hanged Man, which I think is the ancestors not necessarily pushing you, but sort of almost like allowing you. I was watching something by Fairy Dust 1111 earlier today, and she was talking about how the ancestors sometimes want us to continue with the problems they left behind, or they're still trying to resolve them and they're near us, and it's almost making us reinscribe them or just still having to deal with them. And I feel in my own life, and I really feel for all of us, there is the possibility to let that go. And what these cards are saying to me is that they want you to. They want you to use your discernment. They want you to use the amazing possibility on our planet, and as we are part of our planet, that's available to us now, and they are with us. They support you. And then look, I drew the Hanged Man again, and this time reversed. And as you who've been following me know, I've been reading reversals lately as an ease of letting go of that energy. There's an ease to it that we might not have expected, that we can truly fall into our soul's soft dignity and an aligned way of being together here on this planet. It's funny, the Hanged Man in the Kawaii Tarot is not facing upside down, but then I got it reversed. In any case, the ancestors are with you, so any changes that you feel called to make, or things that you feel that you almost maybe couldn't even imagine ever releasing, but that you'd like to, so that you can experience more of yourself, you may do so at this time. There's an earth trine carrying us at this time as we move into the fall up in the north and the spring in the south. And this is your ecosystem. You have people around you who want to celebrate with you, who want to enjoy this world with you. And maybe that your ancestors are some of those, but certainly also in your daily living. Those people are here. So remember to pay attention to that and to them. Fire. Fire brings in, I'm reading things slightly differently as I believe we can release all the old ways of referencing correspondences, things that have gotten just a little stagnant or even constrictive or oppressive in the way that we think of things, in our ways of looking at things archetypally. So that being said, I'm looking at the fire energy as what's available to you as embodied intelligence. And look, fellow looks like the embodiment of intelligence. He's grounding. He's got a grounding rod. He's contemplative, and the stars bless him. He's in alignment. See how this cross is made. He's standing in his true place. So your fiery intelligence allows you that possibility, and all the fire energy that's available now. And then for the air energy that's available now, I'm reading air on my run this morning. I realized I'm going to start reading air. I talked about this spot because had Eve, the archetype of Eve, in this spot with the archetypal reading the other day, and Eve as the mental expression of the feminine. But now I'm reading this. Of course, I'm not reading this just for those embodied in female biological form at this time, because these are archetypes, and it's all a beveled patterning and repatterning, and it's all in motion, and we all are able to come deeply and truly into our soul's true shape, true dignity, our own self-possession and self-definition. And as we do this, I'm reading the air energy as the place where your mental imagination as part of the earth, our imaginations are part of the earth, it allows you to bring this reconciliation, to bring things from the past, to bring things in from the future, to bring into this moment this reconciliation, this remembrance, this equality between us as masculines and feminines, and all along the spectrum, as non-binary, each as our own true gorgeous self. We are all equal. Equality is like gravity, says Joss Whedon. You can't argue about it. It's simply a fact. Just as love, being the strongest force in the universe, is a fact, repeated by our, most famous physicist of the 20th century, Albert Einstein. He told his daughter not to mention that till after he died because people weren't ready to hear it. The earth trine allows you a recalibration. It's upside down, like any shifts that need to be made in your structures of contentment. Like this little boy or this little person. This little person is reminding me of you right now, Aries. You can't get too close with this camera, I suppose. Okay, I'm going to pull some more cards for you. Okay, Aries, I'm very excited to read some more cards for you as the first of my full moon maxis here on YouTube. So, what the earth trine is offering you, I spoke about, what the water trine is offering you, your own modality, your own element of fire offering you. We'll get to the modalities later. The element of air offering you here at this equinox. This is going to be where you may be having any pain, and then where you may be having hope. Your potential, your field of potential right now in this earthly realm, and what this full moon in your own sign is offering you. And here you are. Okay, this one's from the Dreaming Way. So where you may be having any pain at this time, dear Aries. This one's wanting to come out. Whew. This is self-harm. This is self-harm, and to me this relates to any ancestral habits that don't serve you. Okay, look at the difference between these two gentlemen. This one is hurting himself. This one is using the tool as a grounding. This one is using his own body to harm his own body. Okay. That one just came out of the deck. I'm going to draw one more. Actually, I think I'll draw one for hope from this deck, and then I'm going to draw one more, at least for the pain, from another deck, I think. Okay, this one came out. Hope. Look at that sweet hope, I believe. This is joyous embodiment. This is, look at them, they're running naked across the earth. This is joyous embodiment. And I don't do this I think would be the 9 of, well, I don't know. Either it could be cups, it could be, I mean, because it's clouds here. Or it could be air. So, if the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Cups are pretty different. You know, 9 of Cups, a wish come true. 9 of Swords, you know, panic and fear, sleeplessness. So I think this hope really does relate to how you're going to hold this energy of being embodied intelligence. How are you going to work with it? I mean, are you going to stay in a state of inertia that perhaps is just a repetition of old ancestral habits, or, and this could be your specific ancestors or just human, you know, human history. Or are you going to move like a fool almost, like the fool, almost beginning again? You know, I talked about us as bodies of renewal in my archetype reading the other day. So here you are. I mean, this is embodied joy. This is health. This is, yeah, just the joy of being an embodied human. So that's in your hope position, whereas harming yourself with your own body is in your pain position, and the ancestors again are pushing you. And you have this field of people around you wanting to celebrate with you. You have this ability with the earth trying to recalibrate your structures of contentment. You have from the air a possibility to reconcile the good of the past, the potential of the future, and any things that have been seen as, you know, oppositional, to reconcile them, you know. Okay, and your ancestors are with you, or they are at least sort of giving you their permission, their blessing to move beyond where they were able to move. And really that is a blessing back toward them if you were able to do so, which I think you are perfectly capable of, my dear Aries. Okay. What is this gorgeous full moon culminating, you know, all the things you may have been going through since your birthday time. This culmination energy of Aries for the year. Of course, you aren't only Aries. You contain multitudes, as Walt Whitman would say. And we all are inhabitations of many an archetype. Okay, you have the moon. There's an ease with which the moon brings its blessings. There's an ease with which this moon blesses you. And you have put in the work, and you may contemplate the work you've put in under this easy moon for you. And you may move further into the true shape of your current potential for joy, dear Aries. I love this Aries card, the Emperor. Love his checked crown. Okay. And now for your field of potential, I'm going to use the Happy Tarot by Serena Fika. I think I'm saying her last name right. I really do like the book that comes with this set of tarot cards. I mean, I have many a tarot book, but this is the one that tries to see what happiness can come from the energy of each card. And our intelligence. I think we've had, you know, at least in my life, something about being depressed or sad or, you know, even despairing or also ironic. that's been part of like considering ourselves intelligent and discerning, at least in the landscapes and ideas that I've moved through in my life. And happiness is its own intelligence. Happiness and joy have their own logic, their own intelligence. One of my dear friends, who's a shamanic healer and an amazing person, she says, there's a joy map. There is joy already present on this earth. It's not like we have to bring it in, really. It's here. We need to be able to recognize it, and a lot of that is, in my opinion, finding the ways to structure things so that each person is allowed their sense of integrity and identity, as the native Lakota writer and lawyer and activist Vine Deloria Jr. Would say. We need to build structures in which each person, each being is allowed a sense of integrity and identity. And look what you have in the field of potential. It's a very potentially card. You're standing on your ground looking at your ships coming in with your little kitty companion, So it seems like a really nice range of possibilities of this culminating Aries full moon for you, dear Aries. And I'm going to shift things around a little bit and read some more cards for you. Might take one more for the field of potential here. And we have the Magician. Okay. You're in your power. You've done your work. You may release. You may inhabit, this fiery intelligence in a way that is balanced and allows you, to reconcile all the parts of yourself, to enjoy the people and other companions that are with you, to move out of anything that's become stagnant for you, to use your discernment in an embodied way. Your works under this moon. Look, you are magic, your potential for magic under this easy moon. Okay, and I'm gonna rearrange things a little bit so I can read you some more cards. Dear Aries, I forgot to show you your cards as they were still in their places before I moved on to the next set, but I'm just gonna kind of move through them here. Left these in your field of potential for now and under this moon. So around this potential, you also have Chiron moving out of your sign and into Pisces on Monday, this coming Monday. So I'm going to draw a card for what that might indicate for you or allow for you in terms of this healing that we have kind of been talking about, with letting go of any ancestral methods of pain or ways of coping that you may release. And they bless you in it. You are able to move into new ways of experiencing life on earth, that maybe they were unable to fully enjoy or embody while they were here, but that does not mean you owe it to them to continue that. In fact, perhaps we owe it to them to discontinue that. Okay, I think that I will draw So, what Chiron's movement into Pisces for a bit on this Monday, or even I'm asking for Aries what that makes available to them in their field of potential. Chiron moving into Aries, just that moment, and as the full moon approaches, or on the same day as the full moon in their sign, what Chiron is offering. The Fool, awesome. It's just a chance to begin again as a happy, happy creature of the earth, you know, packed lightly with your imagination, your body, your intelligence, your spirit, your joy in being here on this gorgeous planet and being yourself. This is what Chiron's offering you at the time of the moon. Okay, I'm going to read what the Spirit... I've been really into thinking about archetypes lately, even as I'm saying that we're moving out of old archetypes. Eve, as the mental feminine energy, what is she holding for you as you work in this field of potential at this time? And, you know, I also think of Isis from Egypt as the, you know, from Egyptian mythology as, or religion, as a healer, somewhat like, she's not really the wounded healer though. That story works a little differently. She heals, you know, in a way. It's interesting, just coming to me now, Adam, I was reading about this, I was doing a reading for, you know, really thinking about archetypes with masculine and feminine, and Adam came up as brokenhearted, relating to the fracturing way of you know, experiencing Eve and Lilith, that is a heartbreak in the masculine energy as well, to have the feminine energy be sort of fractured and bound into this the hidden and the seen parts, and what the acceptable and the not acceptable parts that really just must be mirroring inside Adam some breakage, and Adam is broken, his body is broken to make Eve, whereas Isis's husband, is broken by his brother who's jealous, broken completely and scattered over the earth, and she has to recollect him and make him a new penis because she can't find that. Anyway, okay, well, and then I also wanted to bring it, so over here, this is going to be the energy of Eve, the energy of Eve, the energy of Isis. Both of these as you know, embodied practical intelligences of the feminine on the earth, and the naming ability, and the just, you know, the mental aspect, you know, in a way the inventress of language and of human free will. Anyway, coming over to where I live on the North American continent in the southwest of the United States, the Pueblo people have these goddesses, sister goddesses named Thinking Woman and Listening Woman. So I'm also going to put Thinking Woman here. And this is energy available to you. King of Swords. It's a clarity. It's a clarity. It's a clarity of language. It's a clarity of thought. It's, you know, these things really matter. Sometimes we use them in a flip way, or in a manipulative way, you know, and it matters that we use them in an authentic way. And that requires a depth of contemplation. And that is what is offered to you by these goddess energies at this new moon. Okay, and I'm also going to call for what, Osiris and even Set, you know, and Adam, and even the trickster energy, which is a little bit like the Fool. Let's play. And Aries, you are like, you know, I'm sure this annoys you, but you know, the typical thing of Aries, you know, being as like a newborn child, like just ready to go by trial and error, ready to see what's happening as the first, you know, the initiator, but also this cardinal, herald, emperor as well. Like, my God, you're just starting everything, you know, as the calendar, the zodiac goes round, you know. You're the great initiator. Oh, the card fell. I'm gonna go see what that was. From the masculine, from the gods that I just invoked. Oh my goodness, this is very interesting because the card that came up, well, when I picked it up, it was upside down, but with the masculine, where he was holding pain in this reading for archetypes that I did yesterday, was the Seven of Wands, was this ability, like how to stand his ground without hurting anyone and without having to be aggressive or to be defensive, you know, without having to be in this argument, in this opposition, in this war. Okay, so, and it came up upside down, so it can be released more easily than we may have hoped after centuries. And this card in another deck had also come up for the masculine as where his hope was. To be receptive in a new way, to stand his ground in a new way. So this is for you as well, Aries. If you're female Aries watching this, I mean, we all contain all the archetypes, or any archetype that we resonate with, and we understand this more as we go through life and as we think about it, you know. And as we learn about ourselves and the world. You know, always. We are always the same age inside, says Gertrude Stein. And so here you are. Aries, yay, we're going. And also, ooh, Aries, we're cardinal. We're making, you know, things happen. This is how the future is calling to you. This is what the future is offering you. The future generations, this is what they are offering you now. Okay, Page of Wands. So this ability, you know, to remake, to begin anew, to, you know, ground here, with the water trine here and the earth trine here. This meeting, you know, same as with this card. This remembrance, this meeting place, this collapsing of old ideas, binary ideas, hierarchical ideas, this collapsing of these ideas so that we may, you know, transform, you know, anything that's been caked on that feels stagnant, that feels, you know, like a reinscription of these old stories. You may begin again, look just like a kid, like a child or a young person. This looks like an adolescent person, you know, standing at the shore, the meeting of the ocean and the land, and drawing sweet scribbles on our dear Mother Earth. Okay, and then also the Knight of Swords, so this excited journey into the future, with the swords representing, you know, this careful thought, and the eager movement of that card representing, you know, the adventurous spirit. And the swords are always a little scary because, you know, our words can hurt. We can physically hurt people. But that is not what these swords are for. These swords are valiant, you know, as we move with thoughts and ideas and observations quickly and gallantly into the future, and with the absolute joy and curiosity of a young baby, you know, the deep dignity and curiosity and sort of sportiness of a little kid, but also the care offered here by the goddesses, the care with our words, the care with our actions, the care, you know, the knowledge of how important all of this is. And also, this is all us moving into a way where we can be reconciled, where we can each remember remember and experience our soul's true shape. And now I'm going to draw for the immediate future with regard to your works, whether it be, you know, creative, you know, yeah, your works. I was going to say whether it's, you know, how you earn your living or how you know, keep yourself interested, you know. But these things, I think, need to collapse as well, you know, that those can be the same. There doesn't need to be a separation between how we survive and how we create. And you have the Two of Cups, the Two of Cups. Okay, so it seems to me that in partnership with others, you will make these happy times and treats. It is in partnership with others that you now move or continue with any ways of making, you know, making a living, meaning, you know, all aspects of living. It is in partnership, or as earlier, you know, with those around you who so want to be an ecosystem of joy and contentment with you, of celebration with you. Okay, so that's for your works. And then for your relationships, if there's a particular relationship you are thinking of when coming to this reading, I will draw a card for that here, a relationship here on earth, or with an ancestor, or with a descendant, or with a, you know, partner of whatever sort. We will draw a card for that relationship here at this culminating full moon in your own sign of Aries at this time, right after the equinox, right after Chiron moves out of your sign for a bit into Pisces. You have marriage. You have a foundation. There either is already, or there's possibility, or the renewal of a very strong, sturdy foundation. You have a lot of Wands. This is kind of emotional. You know, typically we think of water in the tarot as being emotions. Okay, so look at this version of the Seven of Wands compared to the other one that we had earlier. This one, that you want to release this way of interacting, that this brings you sorrow, having to, you know, be in this argumentative way of being. And look at these wands. It is candy canes under the sun, you know. The main problem would be them melting. I really like this Kawaii Tarot, its simplicity, and the woman who made it or illustrated it says that, you know, she grew up later than I did when and wasn't so into all the complexity, or even the complexity of this argument in traditional tarot cards. And so she said, I think she described herself as being, you know, of the generation that grew up online. So one of these more simple symbols. I also like this deck because it does a lot of different things with gender, unexpected things, like sometimes the queens look like more male and sometimes the kings look more female, blah blah. Anyway, it's a nice deck. Look at the stars on the back. I recommend it. So the water trine's offering you a dissolving of this old way of being in the Seven of Wands energy, and that you can stand your ground again as you are here in the field of potential in a new way. And you may want to look at that divine masculine and feminine reading that I did the other day, because it relates a lot to a lot of this. Wow. You got the Four of Pentacles, which sometimes means a sort of resistance to change, or I've been reading it that way. But it's also came up upside down, which I've been reading as an ease with which these energies can happen. And it's interesting to have it in the earth trine. When you're dissolving from the water trine, you're dissolving these old, more fiery, or not fire. Fire can be in a lot of different ways, but these antagonistic, oppositional, or even defensive kind of warring with these Seven of Wands, with these intelligences, because I'm reading the fire as the embodied intelligence, is fighting, even fighting oneself, right? Harming oneself even. But you're moving into this more grounded energy and this happier way of dealing with all these thoughts and measures and creations. And so this is the earth and water trine. This is the water trine, sorry, this is the earth trine. But this resistance, well, I've been reading the Four of Pentacles also as the resistance, the basic human resistance to change that can actually be part of the creation of the change and the grounding of any ideas, ideas that we have coming in from the future, supported by the goddesses, especially thinking woman, listening woman, these new times on our earth. This your simple human, even, narrative of resistance can help you to actually move into these new formats and new ways of being embodied that can bring you a lot of happiness and a lot of satisfaction. I'm going to draw you one more card as you go off into the month and into the next 6 months till your next moon. Actually, saying it that way makes me want to draw you more than one. So here's some potential stories to take on your way. The Empress to a companion. Again, I see a companion here for you. Coming in or growing in companionship. The one that's face up on the floor is the Star. The Star, which to me relates back to this one and is again about balance. There's a lot about balance and reconciliation and recalibration that's going on. Okay, Aries, I hope that this was of some use to you, dear Aries. Lots of love.